You are listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Wednesday the 12th of November, 2025. It is 51 days after the fall equinox. It is 39 days before the winter solstice. By the French Republican calendar, it is the 22nd day of Brumaire, the day of the Azerol, the Azerol. The sun rises today at 6:40 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 11:40 a.m. The sun sets today at 4:40 p.m. Civil twilight ends at 5:09 p.m. and nautical twilight ends at 5:42 p.m. The length of daytime today is 2 minutes, 6 seconds shorter than yesterday. The moon reaches its third quarter at 12:28 a.m. today. The new moon will arrive on Thursday, the 20th of November. These are the predicted tides today for Horns Hook. In the wee hours, high tide, 4:32 a.m., 1 meter 28. In the morning, low tide, 9:42 a.m., 30 centimeters. In the afternoon, high tide, 4:01 p.m., 1 meter 34. At night, low tide, 10:52 p.m., 12 centimeters. In our shared realm of plants and animals, the fall produces some beautiful juxtapositions. On 30th Road, just off 14th Street, there's a tall eastern white pine, lush and bright green, that stands in front of a huge and healthy American elm tree. The elm has gone lush yellow-orange, framing the green pine in gold. Down 14th Street, the sad playground behind the health center is full of Japanese zelkovas that have all turned copper-brown. The playground equipment is painted bright blues and greens, and the complementary colors of the zelkovas right now make a beautiful sight. We call it the sad playground because although it has beautiful equipment, it is always bereft of children. Teenagers have claimed it, discouraging others. Still, nature has made it sing with its fall display. Commemorations. On this day in 1892, Pudge Heffelfinger played in his first paid football game for the Allegheny Athletic Association. That makes him the first professional American football player in history. His pay was $500, quite a sum at the time, but nothing like the $60 million a year today's highest paid quarterbacks make. In any case, we just enjoy saying Pudge Heffelfinger. Also in sporting history, on this day in 1920, Judge Kennesaw Mountain Landis was elected the first baseball commissioner by the owners of the teams. After the Black Sox scandal of 1919, when players were accused of taking bribes to fix the World Series, baseball needed a serious makeover. Landis, who remained in office until his death in 1944, kept a firm hand on the game and refused the disgraced Black Sox requests to be reinstated. On this day in 1954, Ellis Island closed for good. The station for processing immigrants to the United States had opened in 1892. The first immigrant to pass through its gates was Annie Moore, a 17-year-old girl from Cork, Ireland. More than 12 million people followed in her footsteps, gaining entry to their new country in the shadow of the Statue of Liberty. But after the Emergency Quota Act of 1921, an increasingly isolationist United States slammed the brakes on immigration. Ellis Island was transformed into a detention site for immigrants who were detained or faced deportation. The last immigrant to depart the island was Norwegian merchant seaman Arne Petersen, who had been arrested for overstaying his shore leave. He left Ellis Island with a commitment to return to Norway, but he overstayed again and was in fact deported in February of 1955. And then the long story of Ellis Island came to an end. Mishaps in history. On this day in 1970, the infamous exploding whale incident took place in Oregon. A dead sperm whale washed up on the beach in Florence, Oregon. The Oregon Highway Division, which at the time had jurisdiction over the beaches, consulted with the U.S. Navy, and it was decided the Leviathan would be disposed of using dynamite. It was hoped the carcass would be blown to bits, and shorebirds would eat the remains. When the dynamite was detonated under the carcass, it created a huge hole underneath, and huge chunks of whale flesh hurled through the air. Reporter Paul Linman, who was covering the event, said, quote, "The blast blasted blubber beyond all believable bounds. Some rained down on the parking lot some distance away, and most of the whale lay intact on the beach. The seabirds who were supposed to feast on the whale bits were spooked by the loud blast and were nowhere to be seen. Dead whales are now usually buried." And that is the Observatory, Wednesday the 12th of November, 2025.